Champions, how you going? We've got a Bandmaster Reverb here, head, taking it out of the box just to have a look. Reports of ticking trem, buggered foot switch lead. The valves are old, yes they are. And they're after options for possible variable B+, so basically they're after breakup at lower level. This is a master volume model, so should be able to get a little bit of overdrive out of the thing at a lower volume, particularly if you use like possibly a boost pedal or something in front. But what I think we might do is we'll treat that request separately. We'll get this thing purring first, and then maybe look at some other options before we go modifying the thing. It's already had several modifications and replacements. It's got, as every amp this age has, it's got a terrible cap job, half-assed, incomplete, tack soldered. So I said in a previous video that yes, axial caps one day are probably going to be unattainable, or at least very expensive, because they'll be super specialised. No modern equipment uses axial caps. Except for fenders and messes, but let's not talk about them. Not really modern, even though they're still built that way. It's okay when you order hundreds of thousands of them for yourself, but off the shelf they're not going to be readily attainable. So eventually we're going to have to come up with a way of doing it. I don't like this particular way. It is silicon, so it's not too bad, but I don't know, it just looks terrible, and we've just got tack soldering, which isn't good. It looks like these leads are chewed up. I don't know how they managed to do that, but yeah, that's a replacement, original replacement. Why wouldn't you just replace both of them? Like, come on, if one of them's failed, the other one's going to fail soon. It's called preventative maintenance. Like, these only fix it if it's broke, guys. Like, it just ends up coming to a tech every 6 months, because you fix one cap, the next cap fails. You fix that cap, the next cap fails. Just fucking replace them all. Like, seriously, I'm sick of this argument. But anyway, so this one's original. Let's see if there's a date code on here. 100 UF. He must have tested it and written that with Texter. 73. 6th week of 73, I believe. Mallory. So she's fucked. No actual bulge yet, but yeah, I'm changing that. The IC is starting to bulge a bit on the back end, and these are leaking crap out of the ends of the leads. I don't know if you can see that there, but you've got little brown nubs where the lead comes out. That's the electrolyte evaporating as it leaks out of the end. So they've failed. Probably humming. You've got to replace dropper there. May or may not have been required, but let's have a quick measure. You see the old fluky flukerson. Oop. Dropping down to about 10k. Takes a while to settle because the caps are interfering with the readings. About 10k. There's a carbon film. There's some melted solder throughout there. The dropper resistors are original. Sorry, the balance resistors, bleed resistors. Yes, it's not playing nice because it's still in circuit with the caps. But yeah, full recap. This transformer, output transformer, has been replaced. That looks like a new sensor one. It may or may not have been replaced for good reason. A lot of, let's say, hobbyists seem to think that if there's some problem they can't figure out, then it must be the output transformer. So a lot of the case they get replaced when they don't need to be, because it's something else causing the issue. I don't think I've ever replaced an output transformer unless it was the wrong type. Power transformers from time to time, yeah, but they're pretty rare too. You're talking like 1% of the repairs, 2% of the repairs that come in require a replacement transformer. So let's have a look at the guts, see what's been done, see what's got to be done. Alrighty, so starting from the power side, we have a new bias filter cap, and the second one looks original. Got the original diode, original resistor, we've got some frayed connections, we've got a bias mod, we've got some tack soldering, we've got some melted insulation, we've got bubbly wax all over the board, we've got new bypass caps throughout, a couple of new metal film, cathode resistors for the inputs, all the plate resistors look original, carbon film, carbon comp, sorry. Got original Mallory bypasses over here. It's like they only realised these ones on the board, but there's other bypass caps at the back and they've just ignored them. We've got new grid stoppers on the output valves. It's pretty hideous soldering as usual. Two different types of screen grid resistor. Some bad soldering on the heaters. We've got a solder connection which has already let go and then been re-bolted down on the chassis there. You can see its original solder's footprint was there, and it's rotated as they've tightened it, so that's not really a good connection. We're going to remove all the grounds from the transformer hardware because that chassis is already distorted, that bolt's bent. Yeah, so some pretty average work done before, and also some chassis distortion in that area. So the ticking trem could be a filtering issue. It could also be lead dress. But what I think we'll do is we'll get this thing in a functional, as usual, we'll get it into a functional state before we go looking for small noises and stuff like that, because we've got to sort out the big stuff before we sweat the small stuff. It's interesting. One of the coupling caps to the output stage has a hole in it. You can actually see the foil in there. I don't know, I don't think that'd be arc damage. I think that's physical damage from someone dropping a tool in there or something. So yeah, well, I think we'll be replacing that one at least. Probably do the pair of them just to match them up. Another thing to look at is the mains selection switch here, the red one. They're pretty crappy rotary switches, and the fiberboard back of them flies off, as it's already starting to there. It's pretty distorted. The contact tension seems to be a bit too much for the mechanical little retaining tab. So since that's in the mains area, I don't like having it that dodgy. So we might just hardwire them and terminate the other wires, since it's not going to get used on anything but 240 over here. Interestingly, there's a ground switch here, and they put the switch in anyway, but those eyelets have never been soldered to. You can see there's no residue at all. It's like that just came from the factory. So instead of plugging the hole, they just put the switch in the hole and forget about it. Forget about it. And also the wiring on this, they've done it completely wrong. So you see the blue wire there, that's neutral, and they've got that going to the fuse tip. That goes to the switch and then to the transformer, and the active goes straight to the transformer. So it should go active, fuse, switch, transformer, and neutral, transformer. So we'll have to redo that. We'll investigate the plug. These days kind of should be having a safety molded plug on there. It's a bit of a grandfather clause too, because all the old amps floating around there still have these on. That's what they came out with, but there's better ways now. So let's have a quick look at the fuse rating. Whoa, that's a weird fuse. 2.5 amp. Sounds about right. 2 amp. We'll put a 2 amp back in, but that's a really weird fuse. I don't know if someone's rewired that or what. But it's got like a little coil in there. It looks almost like a light bulb filament. Normally they're a straight line, right? Or some of the fast blow ones, they have a spring on one end, but the fuse itself is straight. But yeah, a strange one. But we'll put a 2 amp fuse back in that. Alright, so this is weird. They've got the bypass, standby switch going via a 0.22 ohm resistor. So they're using that as a fuse, like an HT fuse, I guess. It's not a fusible resistor, so it's curious. Anyway, and here's the foot switch. It's got some electrical tape over it. It's got these right angle adapters. So what I suggested to him was I check that the wiring inside the box is okay. We get rid of all this stuff and put some proper switchcraft right angle plugs on there and get rid of this. It's just more opportunities for failure. And I'll put a little heat shrink label on there saying vibe and trem, so he knows which one to plug in where. Just have a look inside the thing. Yeah. Twisted connections. I might replace the wiring. So there we go. I think we've got enough to quote off, and if it goes ahead, I'll see you here. If not, you'll see this anyway. But this will be the end of the video, not end of part 1. Talk to you on part 2, champions, or on the next video.